Helen Joseph Hospital, when you hear that name, what comes to your mind? Do you see it as a place of hope or a place of despair? Is it a place where you know you can get help, or a place where you just see if you go there, then death is inevitable? If you search a Helen Joseph Hospital on Google, you'll find that there are a lot of articles talking about the horrors of Helen Joseph Hospital, the unbelievable things that are happening there. The video by Tom London, it is just a new video that brings attention to maybe a different angle, because now it was done by a patient who was there, who's able to articulate himself very well. Maybe that is why it's even trending to this extent. But Helen Joseph Hospital is not new to drama, is not new to the bad news of the hospital ill-treating patients and all horrors happening there, the lack of good infrastructure, lot of things broken, patients sleeping on the floor, not getting attention for weeks. So let us watch a video by Tom London, and then I'll bring another video by another patient's family so that we discuss and dissect what is actually happening, and we put a spotlight on the reaction of the MEC on this issue.
The doctors that run around here, they treat the patients like cockroaches. No doctor, I haven't seen one doctor walk up to a patient in our ward and go, "Good morning, Mr. So-and-so, how are you?" Nothing. They treat the patients with absolute disdain and disrespect. I'm talking about this from the young Wits medical students all the way up the chain at this hospital. I have never seen a level of disrespect for human beings like this in my life.
He says no doctor greets any patient. As black people, we are used to that. It's the norm. It is standard. If you find any doctor that greets you, or a nurse that will greet you before they do anything, or even update you on what is happening with you, you'd be lucky. He says they treat patients with absolute disrespect. That is the standard. That is, in fact, if the government wants to change the way, the behavior of their medical personnel in the entire South Africa, they need to do extensive work. Let us continue watching and hear what Tom London is saying.
Like this in my life. Yesterday I was taken down for a CT scan to check if I've got cancer. I had the CT scan, I was brought back up. A few hours later they came back, said, "Oh, we made a mistake, we forgot to put the dye in you." So I went down and had another CT scan. Now, I've been dealing with my doctors, Dr. Pillay and Dr. Van Eck. Every day they come and report back to me, they tell me what they're doing. Yesterday, a blonde doctor, some young blonde white doctor, she comes to my bed, looks at me, ignores me, starts writing in my file for 10 minutes, says absolutely nothing, and then announces that Dr. Pillay is no longer my doctor, I've got a new doctor. I asked why, and she said that he has handed his patients over to less complicated patients over to someone else. And she gave me the doctor's name, I can't remember. I haven't seen that doctor for 48 hours, so now I haven't had a doctor for 48 hours.
I asked this question, will the NHI work with the current conditions of the public hospitals as we see them, and with the current behavior of the public medical staff as we see them today? So, will the NHI work? Are we ready for NHI? Anyway, let us continue watching what Tom London had to say.
No, Brew, you came and spoke to me every day. Just 2 days ago you said we're going to look awkwardly at each other for the next few days until we have your CT scans, and now you've ducked. Someone told me that you're writing exams at the moment. I don't know, right? The guy opposite me, that doctor that comes every day, treats him with absolute disrespect. He's a human being who, when he talks to this guy who is in constant pain opposite me, he talks to him like this. The guy opposite me goes, "I'm in so much pain, doc." And the doctor goes, "Oh yes?" Just like that. Nothing. No doctor here calls you by name. Every doctor here assumes you're a hobo that's come off the streets. The doctors here are behaving like the patients are their little experiments. I've never ever experienced anything like this in my life. I'm going to take you into the ward, and I'm not going to say much, but I'm going to show you some of the crap that's going on in this ward. Give me a sec.
Many people have been complaining about pain management in government hospitals. This is not new. When he says the patient would tell, the patient who's always in pain will tell the doctor that I'm in so much pain, and the doctor says, oh yeah, and it does nothing. There has been so many complaints about how people don't get pain management in government hospitals, and all these things are not being sorted out for years. Same stories. People go to public clinics, public hospitals, and they come back, complain about the ill treatment and the lack of care, and just the whole. This is not new. It all depends who's saying it and how the person is saying it. Like this one now is getting attention because he's saying it so well and is having this evidence shooting around and is able to articulate himself very well. It goes down to that.
Let's go to the ward. Oh, by the way, I'm lucky to be talking to you on this phone because last night as I was sleeping, a woman came into the room, took the phone from right next to my head and stole it. Luckily, the guy opposite me saw it, woke me up, said, Tom, someone's just stolen your phone. I got another guy to call it, and I heard it ringing from down the passage, and I tracked her down to a ward where she was trying to remove the SIM card. So I'm very lucky to be talking to you on this phone. Let's go into Ward 8. The doctors here, you give doctors a bad name. All of you, despicable human beings, right? Here, taps. What, do you think it works? Nah, that tap doesn't work. Let's check the ceilings out. Well, they're peeling and flaking and stuffed, right? All of this is rusted. This is my bed. The plug doesn't work, it's blown. That's all rusted. I'm so angry with you. This is the Helen Joseph Circus Hospital, where doctors experiment on you. Now, earlier on, I put a video up of the guy opposite me who was busy dying. I'm going to turn this camera around, right? He's dead. He died 20 minutes ago. He's lying there in that bed. He's actually gone. He's dead. Now, our government wants us to believe that the NHI is going to do great things for us. But here's just a few minutes in the day in the life of the Helen Joseph Circus Hospital, where the doctors talk about their cars and their clothes and their bonuses while people lie dying in front of them. When the doctors left the ward now, after this guy just died, they were laughing. Shame on you. Shame on you, Helen Joseph Hospital, but mostly shame on the doctors that think they have the right to call themselves doctors, that run around this hospital and treat every single patient like a cockroach. You, doctors, you're the cockroaches. You actually don't deserve to exist. Not the patients you're busy experimenting on and killing. Please share this video so people can see the state of South African healthcare. If this is what the NHI is, make sure it doesn't happen.
I am so super shocked. The person who passed away about 20 minutes ago is still sleeping there, is still lying there together with the patients that are still alive. And I don't know, somebody may correct me here. I don't know if the body now of the person who has passed on is sleeping there, doesn't it release more infection at that stage? So maybe I don't know. It is so exhausting. Are we NHI ready as this country? Are we not supposed to be focusing on the right things that truly matter, like fixing the hospitals, making sure that we have the right staff for the job, like things are actually properly functioning in our own clinics and hospitals before we can say, now we can bring in NHI.
Videos of psychiatric patients at Helen Joseph Hospital. Conditions here don't look good at all, with patients sleeping in the emergency ward. One family says their relative waited for hours before they could get help and spent nearly a week in the emergency area.
On my side, if really health inspector, they have to close that hospital.
The woman describes what they witnessed upon one of their visits.
It's not right. The manner of approach is not right.
The family is furious. but also fears victimization.
Yazi ukuthi into engizokubuhlungu ukunqola kwalesa sibhedlela. First thing, that hospital is dirty. Singolile sasibhedlela. Angithembi ukuthi khona nabantu abaklinayo kulesa sibhedlela. Amabonda angcolile. Istress abantu alele kuzo. And ubona ukuthi stress akalele kuzo. I don't know whether they were mophile or somebody was lying there.
They also complain that their relative was not fed, and this is the response they got when they asked about bathing.
Bayakutshela onesibatshele bathi ngcono uze ekuseni ukulile uzomgezisa then uhambe uma ukhathini angeke ngikhona ukuthi every morning ngiyasebenza ngizela ngizomgezisa.
Following,
you hear that the patient was sitting on the emergency area for a week, no food, no nothing, and the relative is complaining that the place is filthy. He even doubts if there are any people that clean the place, and the response that they got from the hospital is that the guy, as far as food is concerned, he refused to eat the food and he went without eating the food only for one night. See, this kind of responses reminds me of the response of the MEC of Gauteng with the complaint by Tom London with for that video made by Tom London. So they never take accountability, like, no, things are bad. Yes, things are bad, but we're working on it. This relative says he was told to come once a week to bath the patient. He said, I can't do that because I'm working. I won't be able to do so. You know, I know he is not lying because we once had that case with a relative of ours in one hospital in KZN. I will never forget. You know what that does? It leaves you with a scar. When you think about that hospital that did that to your relative, you never forget it. You start hating that hospital. I hate that hospital up to this day. The hospital is in KZN, is Edendale. I hate that hospital. We had to rush and make plan to have medical aid so that we can take our relative out of that place to get medical care somewhere else. And we were lucky enough because by that time, the medical aid would take about 1 month for it to be active. She was in and out of hospital. So by the time she passed away, she was in better care. We were able to have peace of mind that at least, even though she's sick, but she is in a better hospital. Against all the financial troubles that we had, we still had to have plans for a medical aid. So this guy, I know he is not lying. Let us see what people said, the reaction of the people. But firstly, let us see how the MEC reacted to these allegations. This is the post by Yusuf Abramji writing down what the MEC of Health in Gauteng said. You'd be very shocked the direction she's taking. She is not addressing the essence of that video. It says Gauteng MEC for Health appraised with the medical treatment given to Mr. Tom Holmes, aka Tom London. He says the Gauteng MEC for Health and Wellness Nobantu Nkomo Rale Hoku this evening met with the management of team of Helen Joseph Hospital together with senior officials from the department, where she was appraised about the care given provided to Mr. Tom Holmes, aka Tom London, following his complaint on social media. Did they watch the video before they make the statement? That's my concern. That's one. And it shows the caliber of leadership that we have. Are they even listening? How are they supposed to address our issues when they're even diverting? Tom London, 51, was admitted at the hospital on Sunday, 25 August 2024, presenting with difficulty in breathing. He was in the facility for 14 days where he was cared for, subjected to various tests and stabilized. On Saturday, 7 September, he signed a refusal of treatment form and discharged himself from hospital. Having received a briefing from the clinicians on the treatment given to Tom London, the department is satisfied that adequate clinical care was discharged to manage his condition. Yeah, you know, it's like the response from people that did not watch the video. Something that you watch, you don't have to read. It's something that you have to put there and read. Sure, so frustrated. In addition to, the department is willing to allow independent process to review the quality of clinical care provided to him while at the hospital. No, that's not the focus. Yeah, It drives me crazy. There are known infrastructure issues which are being attended to as part of the maintenance and refurbishment program. You know, Helen Joseph has been like this and so other hospitals of South Africa for many years. They will do a poor job and come back and give a tender to somebody else. Do that one will come also do a poor job so that they can bring in somebody else as well. So we know what he is talking about. We know everything in South Africa now is used to make money. So this thing that the MEC is saying that there are known infrastructure issues which are being attended to as part of the maintenance and refurbishment program. We know the story. You'll give to Peter will come and do a poor job, and then the tender will be for Sipho. The next time Sipho will come and do a poor job too, which are being attended to as part of the maintenance program and refurbishment program. However, these are have not had a material effect on the treatment given to patients admitted at the hospital. Guys, did you see the conditions of that hospital? Immediately when you are in a place like that, it's difficult for you to recover. That place is like the valley of the shadow of death. Let me put it like that. It's like the valley of the shadow of death. Let us see what people said reacting to the minister's response and the entire thing, the MEC's response and the entire thing on Helen Joseph. This one says everything is okay at Helen Joseph because the MEC was told by the staff that everything was fine. Seriously? The man who took the video didn't complain about his treatment. He complained about the treatment for other patients, attitudes of doctors, and the filthy conditions. This one says the state of Helen Joseph Hospital and the treatment of patients by some of the doctors is appalling to say the least. So there is no tiptoeing around this one. The MEC should just come clean. And this one says, Helen Joseph is a shit hospital, probably one of the worst. I went to visit my grandmother and just found her in the middle of the passage, literally people walking around her and no one helping her. The hatred I have for that hospital. As I was saying before, that if you have experienced something like this in a government hospital, you never forget that hospital. You carry hatred for that hospital for the longest time. And this one says, this is not a Tom London story. This is a Helen Joseph and healthcare story. There was no compassion. 9 out of 10 doctors treat patients with disrespect and disdain. It is very hard to recover when your human dignity and rights are impacted. Phew, I know, South Africa. And this one says, I'd rather die than be a patient at Helen Joseph. Firstly, that hospital smells really bad. Secondly, you'll pass scary sick patients placed on bed in the passage. Just 20 minutes of you being in there, you'll be so traumatized. Yeah, exactly. I've had some people escaping from Helen Joseph when they went there for treatment. They would escape. Some people would even escape from Helen Joseph and prefer not getting that medical treatment that they so needed. This one says, 2021, I was in Helen Joseph Hospital. Yes, even then it was shocking. A woman came out of theater coughing up blood. No doctor, broken toilets, dry bread and black coffee, no pain meds after major surgery, no pillows or blankets. Disgusting. Look at the old drain tubes. Yo, guys. And you have the NTSIKI that responded like the MEC responded, and you look at them like these people are tone deaf for real, like the same way like people have been complaining for the longest time that the ANC is unable to address issues of high importance because they are tone deaf, they don't know what is going on, they have no, in fact, please, you know, you'd be so mad. To close this video, we are nowhere near NHI. The government should just discard all this desire to implement NHI. The ANC should just forget the NHI. It's not going to work. Focus on what truly matters. Allow people to get their medical aid so they go to their, they prefer. Do not bring NHI. South Africa is not ready. South Africa is not ready. Fix the hospitals first. Let us understand quality of treatment that we'll be receiving, then you can think about NHI. But now we are far. We are even 50 years far away from that NHI that is being spoken about. Please discard that thing.